I'd like to do something unusual here tonight, and that is to actually thank John Banks for his contribution to this debate, not only tonight but actually, and I have to admit that I was wrong in criticising him when he spoke against this bill in August last year, and for the reasons that he spoke against it. I'd also like to acknowledge Mojo Mather for her passionate, consistent defence of the no animal testing regime, and also Trevor Mallard for the work that he has done on this. I have to say that this unlikely trio has probably sparked something new in 2014. I sense that we are actually opening up a new debate on animal testing in this country and the reasons for it, and I think that that's an important thing. I also actually unusually want to thank the Minister in the chair tonight for being here as the Minister of Health, and by your presence signalling that this is a significant and important issue. And I'm going to ask the Minister respectfully if he can answer a couple of questions tonight, if not in the chair, then in the third reading speech, because I think that the people listening to this debate tonight throughout New Zealand have got a couple of questions still in their mind that do need answers from the government around the implementation of this bill and around the resourcing of the care of people who are badly affected by these terrible drugs. And they're not just drugs, Mr. Chair, they're actually poisons. I also would like to unfortunately take issue with what one of the Green members said tonight about the impact of this bill, this legislation, since it's been enacted, and I suppose I can't blame him, because he relied on the regulatory impact statement, which I know was prepared in some haste, but actually does not reflect the full facts. And I do want to put on the record again that there has been a recorded increase in the number of contacts with the National Poison Centre. This is not just because there is an 0800 number on the drugs as they are being sold. This is because the adverse effects are there are stronger adverse effects, that the number of drugs that are actually for sale, while they have lessened in the actual physical number, moving down from 300 odd to 40 something, but that some of them are extremely toxic, and there are more and more toxic adverse reactions presenting at emergency departments and being reported through the National Poison Centre. And again, and I'm going to table this at the end of my speech tonight, this is the latest report, the April report from the National Poison Centre, which I do hope the Minister has had access to. I know it was sent to the Associate Minister, and it shows in red the line where those numbers of adverse calls have gone up, and they are going up every month, and this is a significant issue. I also want to draw attention to a couple of other things, and that is, I know that the Honourable Annette King also drew attention to this, and this is the estimation that's been made of the number of people being badly affected who have developed dependency, and the inadequacy of the research and work that's being done within the Ministry of Health. Now, this is not to criticise individual people. This is basically to say that the resources are not in place to do this work. Estimating that 100 to 150 people might be dependent on these drugs throughout the country is woefully inadequate. It would be my contention that there may even be that number of people alone in Dunedin who have a dependency on that drug, perhaps even more. And I'm sure that many of my colleagues around the House tonight would get up and say that they know of dozens and dozens of cases of people who have a terrible dependency on these drugs and the impact that it's having on their families and their communities. Mr. Chair, I I ask the Minister please to address, to tell the House what the plans are in place for increasing the resources that are available through the Ministry of Health for the implementation.
Mr. Speaker,
the Honourable
Mr. Speaker, just to touch on a couple of the questions that ministers have raised, implementation of